about that. Booyah! What is up, Mr. Matt? Mr. Metric Man. Son of a bitch. Unless this just takes off insanity, this probably won't be a very long one. I didn't sleep very well last night, and I am tired, and I haven't eaten yet, and that means I'm gonna get grumpy. Gotta watch on the laptop for a bit tonight. TV is tuned to KOH. Oh, sick. KOH qualifying. Nice. No, I'm a little early, but it is what it is. Fallen Crawler, hello, beautiful. Back at you, bud. Back at you. Hope everybody's had a good couple weeks. I can definitely say that mine have been frigid. I don't know about you guys. I was supposed to get a package today and it never showed up yet, or else I would have a lot cooler stuff to show you. But it is what it is. Alright. We'll let everybody trickle in here real quick. What you guys been up to? What you doing? Hello, Janice. I am hanging in. I am hanging in. I'm just... What the hell? Damn it. My brand new little box is all dented. Sucks. I can't find my markers, which... Oh, speaking of markers, Janice, that thingy you bought, Reese, with the clear thing and the markers and all that stuff, it tried to catch on fire. We brought it out here and it wouldn't work, and it was glitching back and forth, and then all of a sudden it smelled really hot and it was catching on fire. So we threw it away. Just so you know. Just so you know. Let's see. Dirty Thirds, hello. Your Kia said, my only mail call is new ELRS receiver and GPS telemetry module for some long-range tiny trucking. Oh, that's super cool. Are you doing, like, POV stuff? I know my dad and I have talked about that kind of stuff. Fallen Crawler said, Clutch Master went out on Thursday. That was a fun job. I saw that. I saw that you were on the struggle bus there with that. That sucks. Anybody from the Midwest around here, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky area, who all is going to the K&K swap meet here in 6 weeks or so? You guys planning on going? Hopefully you are, because I'm going to sell a bunch of shit. Well, I'm going to have a bunch of shit for sale. I can't really promise I'll sell it, but it'll be for sale, by golly. Oh, sick. Your Kia said, yep, first person. That's super cool. My dad and I have talked about putting those in crawlers and basically just taking off through the woods or, you know, wherever with them. But I think just, in all honesty, the price point has kind of kept us from doing that. Mike O'Brien says, me? Awesome. I'll see you there. Jacob Carter, no cookies. What the hell? I know, man. I know. I'm at home. This was a very last minute. I was literally, so Janice is my grandma. I was literally at her house not even 30 minutes ago. So I got home late. There's no way I'm cooking cookies or, what am I? I'm losing all sorts of stuff. There it is. All right. Let's see. Tool time. I'm in Central Illinois. When is the swap meet? Look up K&K swap meet. Literally K-N-K, and it will tell you all the details, when you can get in, all that stuff. And I'm only telling you that because I legitimately don't remember. It's sometime mid-March-ish, and I think you can get in at 8, but I don't remember. Let's see. Fallen said saving the dollars for BTC. I understand that. Your Kia said I've got a head start coming from multi-rotor. Oh, I'm playing. Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, that shit's crazy. I watched some of those on YouTube, and that's wild. Just watching the sky like disappear, and then you're going blasting through buildings and stuff. That's um, well, I mean, I guess that's drones, but um, that's multi-rotor, right? Teleguided. What happened to your Vanquish work mat? In all honesty, regardless of whatever happened with things, it was starting to just get really terrible looking. So I honestly don't know where it is. I didn't throw it away. I think it's over there. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. But yeah, it so the same thing with my reefs one. I used to have the reefs one laid out here on the desk thing as well. And just after a while it gets dirty, and then when you wipe it off it's still just kind of gross or whatever. And then it gets paint on it and glue, and the kids pick at it and stuff, so the foam's missing, and I just can't keep them on very long. So, but that's what happened. Odd that you would ask that particular question right now. So, there's more parts. So, I am continuing to organize, by the way. The time that I can actually stay out here, I'm sorting everything and stuff. I bought 10 more totes, so now I have plenty of totes. Um, I don't think there's 10 there because I just used 3 or 4 of them, but used a bunch of that. Highly, highly suggested. Walmart had them. I don't know if they were on sale. I don't remember. They were a lot cheaper than I found them on Amazon. I should have bought them from Walmart to begin with. Glenn, hello. How you be doing? I wish I would. That's another thing I probably will get tomorrow. I ordered some foams for my Boom Racing truck, and they didn't come here today either. Neither did the rest of my parts. The inner fenders for my BRX02, they're not here either, so that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. So, 10 for 20 bucks. I think I got them cheaper than that. 30 thirds. What's the story about VP if you want to share it? Short story. I became acquaintances with one of the owners. I was a dealer. Things changed somehow, and since I don't have an actual storefront, and I'm not big enough to be since I'm not a storefront and I'm not big enough to be a serious like YouTube influencer to where it would be um, more beneficial for me to like just have one as the old rules would be. The dealership for Vanquish is I don't want to say taken. It wasn't taken away. It just wasn't re-upped, I guess. It's a very complicated. It's an interesting situation. I don't want to. I would like to be a VP dealer again eventually. I have to get a website and all that stuff. They said they prefer brick and mortar, and that's never going to happen. So I don't know. I would prefer to be a VP dealer because I definitely enjoyed having all that and getting that done. But whatever. Some people didn't want me to. Let's see. Glenn said eating dinner, chilling, nice. Tool time. Won some Reefs XP shocks and got them on the VS410. Nice shocks, no leaks. Nice. Did you guys all see the guy that won that Origin for 20 bucks and then beat the dog shit out of it? Well, I won't say necessarily beat the dog shit out of it, but definitely drove it like a class 3 Sorka truck. That was kind of wild. But like I told Metric Matt, if I would have won a Origin, that was in clear axles, which I don't like, with a clear body, which I don't think is, I don't know, aesthetically pleasing, I guess. Um, it's really, really like a whole lot of my not favorite things for an Origin, and I only had 20 bucks in it. I'd probably just run the dog shit out of it too. Drove it gingerly. Yeah, something along those lines. What's the drink? Sunlight Cream Ale. I didn't have any water, so I'm going back Old West style where the only thing safe to drink is beer. I assume that you all know about beer and whiskey used to be the only thing safe to drink because water wasn't safe. I assume. I don't. Maybe not. Okay. So I got these. Fallen said just got the Reefs XP shocks in the mail today. Plus he won it for 20 bucks. So why not? 100%. That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, even if you take it, okay, like let's say you take it right now and you can go sell it for, I don't know, an easy, quick $3,000, just because it seems like people have less money than they did, let's say 6 months ago, right? Because it's not tax time yet. You wait for tax time, you can probably get more. But my point was, unless you like really, really beat on it, if you can't get 1,800 to $2,000 back out of it, even after you just, you know, donkey stomp it everywhere, like drag it against everything, don't care because you only have 20 bucks in it. If you can't get $2,000 back out of it, I think that there would be something wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but um, that could, I mean, I could be, maybe, I don't know. That's just the way I see it. I really wish I knew where the hell my Sharpies were. Oh, there's one. Right there. Found them all. Put them in a box. Teleguided. You could have spent $1,600 USD on polished panels. Not a chance. No, thank you. What the hell am I doing right now? This one doesn't work at all. That's cool. Fallen said you spend $4,000 on it and then don't want to drive it. So which is better, driving something meant to be driven or being attached to because of monetary value, so it just sits for no purpose? So there's two sides of that coin, I think. As a guy, you can clearly see this middle shelf here is all shelf queens. Um, there's a lot of money on that shelf, and there is something. I don't really know what the word would be for it. Gratifying, I guess, about having just a really nice like show truck. But then on the flip side, I understand what you're saying, where I have what I would consider some decently nice tube chassis and stuff, and I go out and I drive them. I think I would have to have multiples before I would drive one. As crazy as that sounds, I think I would have to have a really nice shelf queen, and I would almost look at that as an investment versus just a shelf queen as well, because I would only assume that once these run out, which may take a little bit, but I assume that once they run out, the value is going to go up. I don't know that they'll 10 times like the original Ripper did, but or 6 times, whatever, you know what I'm talking about. So I don't think they'll go that crazy, but I mean, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't get double your money out of them in 6, 7, 8 years, maybe. I try really hard not to say 6, 7 now because my two youngest are 6, 7 all the time. If you have kids, I'm sure you understand. Teleguided, I know someone who did exactly that. You let that original guy take the initial new car price decrease, and then you picked it up secondhand for a runner. I think that's honestly, I think that's the way. Like the way you did it would be exactly how I would do it. Um, and I don't know exactly what your plan was or however that worked, but that would be exactly what I would have done. Getting the exact color combo and everything that you wanted for an Origin to just chill and be pretty. You know, just sit there, do its thing, whatever. If in a couple years you sell it, make money, that's cool, whatever. and then just buy a used one that's got some scratches on it, and you know, then beat on that thing. Excuse me. I don't think you did anything wrong, and you did exactly what I would have done if I'd have been in the monetary situation to do what you did. So, Teleguided said, I like gray chassis and polished olive green better than my nice one now. Dude, that green color that I've seen on a couple of, or at least one, that is a really, really, really nice green. I like that a lot. I don't know if that's the polished army green that you're talking about, or olive green or whatever, but that thing is really, really pretty. I have so much crap up here. It's been so cold. I've just been coming out here basically like throwing stuff on the desk and then running back inside. Chris Mitten said, still waiting to see the purple version. I think if it follows normal trends, I think those really weird, like now that you're into, what is it, the fourth wave of cars or, you know, whatever, those weird little colored options, those are going to be the ones worth a lot of money down the road. Because, like, let's say they only make 10 purple ones and then, you know, 10 green ones, and then they change to that plink color. If you did like a dark gray chassis, dark gray wheels with plink rings, and a plink body with black axles or dark gray axles, if you really wanted to, that thing would be sick. I love that color. Well, I love most of that color. I think that'd be awesome. Let's see. Message retracted. Okay, didn't want to talk to you anyway. Tool time. Vittorio's green looks better than Josh's green. I don't watch Josh's videos, so I don't know what Josh has. I've only seen what I saw on Facebook. What skid is on that chassis? Mike O'Brien. I'm assuming you went this one. This is a A&M comp skid, I think, for a Trailfinder 2. You get rid of that big shovel in the bottom, and you put that in there. I have a bunch of TF2 stuff I'm going to sell. That's probably hitting the swap meet as well. Because I've now built a couple TF2s, and they end up being less TF2 and more everything else, and it's stupid to start with a $500 TF2 to begin with. So, I'll be getting rid of a bunch of that stuff too. Purple is top tier. I don't, like, for me, there is 2 or 3 shades of purple that I'm okay with. Everything else, I'm not a huge purple fan. The V2 machetes that I had that they did in purple, I think it was one of the first wheels they did that were like pink in the light, flopped to like dark purple. I thought those were pretty rad, and I believe they did the 101s in the same style, color, or whatever. But you'll notice I don't have a single purple truck. I don't have a single purple truck. I mean, I may have to fix that, but those were sexy. Hell yeah, they were. I held on to them for a long time, and then someone asked me about them when I posted them, just to, you know, like, hey, who has them or whatever. We were doing like a show off or whatever, and someone offered me enough money to get rid of them, and I couldn't say no. So off they went. Mike said I have found that too. Glenn said turtle is the closest thing to purple. Oh yeah, I do have a, well, it's a quarter purple or so. I have so much stuff out here. Goodness gracious. What am I doing? Find the box for the study bird. So I know I have a couple of channel members in here. What did you guys think of all the member-specific video that you saw yesterday? Highly encourage the rest of you to go become channel members. It's cheap dollars a month. How many machetes? Glenn said, I still can't believe that sold. I'm just assuming that it's because people just don't really have money yet. I don't think what I have this thing out for is bad at all. especially when I started doing math of what I may or may not have in it. Um, but I understand like that jump between a $600 nice 700 maybe dollar truck that's nice up to something like this, that's a big gap, and I get that that definitely narrows down the pool of people that can swing that. Chris, how many machetes do you have left? V1s, I think I have 6 pairs, maybe, or 6 sets. I don't have any up here. Oh, I do have one, so I have maybe 7. I've got this set that I tried polishing, but I used Doug's sandblaster, and it has a much larger grit, and so I basically am trying to sand down a concrete block and polish it out. So they're getting there, but after like 4 hours, they're kind of just bitch. There it is. So I got like probably an hour in that, and it's not really shiny yet. But I think once again 6 or 7 sets. Your Kia said I have a translucent purple backed with gunmetal cliffhanger. Oh wow, color shift is kind of cool. I bet. I like messing. I like painting a lot. I like messing with translucents and pearls and things like that. Glinda, if I had the money, I would have bought it before you ever posted it. In all honesty, assumed that you would have made it happen. To tell you the truth, as much as you like it, I figured it was going to eventually go to your house, but maybe not. I'll trade you a Nilla Bear for it. Teleguided said I like members vid, although the number of projects gave me anxiety because I have that many projects and was a wake up call. Yeah. Um. Like I said, man, I get to the YouTube will screw you just because like people want to continually see with me being as small as I am, like people, people like SBG Matt, he can pull that off. Um, and I'm sure Josh can pull that off. RC Everyday Josh can pull it off to where you build a truck and then you have a whole entire video of like, putting little detail stuff in the interior, and then the next video, like, because you're narrowing down the percentage of your viewers. So if you have 100,000 subscribers, 10% still gets you 10,000 views. Whereas I'm already running at 10%, trying to do, 15% is killer for me. And if I can get remotely close to 1,000 views on a video, like I'm super happy with that. So when I do stuff like very, I don't know, intricate, non super interesting to everyone videos, they literally get like 120 views, which for those 120 people is super cool. 30 of them are probably Jordan, Doug, and half my other friends, which is great. I like the support, but it just, there's a lot of time that goes into these videos, and it just, whenever you get one, whenever you're used to getting 700 or 800, maybe 1,000, and then all of a sudden your video gets 112 views, it's just a kick square in the balls. But Anthony Austin, what did the Chop Shop say about waffling it? I don't know. Colton said he's busy. I'm not sure what he's doing. Colton said he was busy. He said, hey, sure, we'll waffle it. And then he was like, do you want to review a couple of things that I'm having done? And I said, yeah. And he said, all right, cool. And then I just never really heard back from him. So I don't need the money. My problem was, as I build more trucks, I'm getting to a point where I'm running out of room, so I have to sell trucks. So it's not eating anything. It's sitting in a tote over there for sale. It's not that deep as far as, like, I don't need to pay my mortgage next month with the money from it or anything. But so it's not, I don't know. I haven't pressured him about it because I don't know Colton well enough to know how he would react to that. Is he going to tell me to piss off? Now I'm not going to do good at it. Or, now he's not going to do it at all. Maybe, like, or will, hey, mention it again, maybe kind of push it along. I'm not sure. I'll take it to K and K. If he wants to waffle it before then, we'll do it, and maybe I can talk to him then about it. But I would love to waffle it off because I had enough people show interest whenever I said something about it, and anytime I posted on his What's for Sale Wednesday or whatever, I can't remember what all he calls it or whatever. And I've mentioned waffling it a couple times, and there's plenty of people that I think would fill the money, get the money I want, and then probably make him some money. So that would be something that people are going to have to ask him. That would be the best, I guess, drive for him would be if people were saying, "Hey, this is what we want," whatever, and you guys getting on him. So I don't know, whatever. That's a long way of saying I'm not sure. Sorry. Glenn, gotta go. Love you. Bye. I know you would have. It's fine. Blind guy, hello. Hope all is well with you. Fallen members video was good. I enjoyed seeing it all. You need an apprentice, dude. Yeah, the thought of sending this stubby to Scott has definitely crossed my mind, but I don't know where Scott's at exactly with some of the stuff he had going on. So I'm not really sure if he's got time. Plus, I need it back in, a minimum, a maximum, honestly, I'd need it back like March 1st just to get it the rest of the way done and painted and detailed and everything. I would have to have it back like very quickly. He may be able to do it. I don't know. I maybe should hit him up, I guess. That's actually not a bad idea. Teleguided said coilover and inky money. That will cover 1.5 of those in case. So even, I believe, I'm pretty sure. No, it would cover 3 of them. It'd cover 3 of them through my friend who has a little bit of a hookup. Mike Abner, so awesome to see you on the Boom Racing bandwagon. It took a while, man. Just because I just never was doing this kind of thing. There's some outside factors that kind of led me to buy one. The only thing I've found so far that I don't like is the centered front pumpkin. That bothers me. Just takes my OCD because I know it shouldn't be like that. So that's really the only thing. And that is the only negative I can find out of a whole damn truck kit. Like their whole process, their everything that they make is, I wish it had an offset front axle. That's not a big gripe at all. When the axles came assembled, that was freaking wild. I'm not used to that. Usually you have to put it all together. I was ready. I had my grease and everything, and I was ready to, get it all together. And I pull them out, and I was like, oh, well, JK, never mind, I guess. And you just literally put the frame together, put the transmission together, pop a couple bolts in, and the chassis is a slider. That was super cool. It was really nice. Everything in that is nice. I'll be talking more about that later, as far as like maybe I'll make a video on it here in a couple weeks. It's got to get warm enough for me to paint it, and then I can actually do something with it, and I'll be a lot more accomplished. Let's see. Anthony Austin, it's a badass truck for sure. Thank you, sir. Mike said, I believe, Jason, that Boom is working on offset pumpkins. That was a conversation he and I had at BTC last year. Nice. Because that was one of the things... That was one of the things you and I were talking about earlier that's kind of gone through my mind. I'm sure, I'm sure maybe that tells you where I was going, I guess, but, I think it's awesome. RJ, Regin, I don't know exactly how you would pronounce your username. RJ, I'll just call you RJ for now. Really tempted by the new builder's kit that Boom Racing is offering. Yeah. What sucked was I got on the site and just started looking at things, and I was like, oh, that I could do with, and like this. And then I see people, once I join the boom racing groups, and I see people like putting K5 bodies on BRX02s, and then like everything started floating. I could probably build out of my brain, I could build 6 boom trucks right now, and they would not be um oh, I painted this one orange and it's an 88, and then this one's yellow. Like, they would be actually different. And it didn't, yeah, it didn't take long. That was, I like boom racing stuff a lot. um I don't like that the replacement parts they sent me were from China, so now I gotta wait for the longboat all the way over here, and then they're sending them to Missouri for some reason, and then coming here. I know Missouri is their headquarters, but that's where it said it was going first. They forgot a couple little brass pieces, or brass, copper, no, brass. They're brass, yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah. So at this point, I'm just yammering. Sorry about that. So, yeah. I really need it to get warmer. That's what I need more than anything. More than anything. I'm gonna go ahead and take these off. Anthony said, if you wanted to build a K10 regular cab, like half cab tube buggy, what VP kit would you suggest starting with? Something like your pineapple, but regular cab. Generally, I would suggest picking up a used straight axle Phoenix or Fordyce. That would be what I would. I mean, that's what I've basically based a whole bunch of my collection on. Or you can try to pick up a cheap Pro, which, I mean, cheap. But if you buy a Pro, that was one of the perks of a, not a, how do I want to put this? Hang on, timeout. Not the new Pro exactly, but basically before they made that, you'd get a Pro, because it's got all machine aluminum gears, or sorry, all machine transmission gears. It had aluminum housings on the axles. You already got the Incision drive shafts, and you could get them used, and it was roughly, I mean, about the same price ish of getting the transmission drive shafts and the axles, and then you also got basically the rest of the truck. Could you make, $100 back out of that or whatever? You got the links and everything. That would be what I would do. The pineapple is on a custom chassis only because that's what it came on, and I think I've talked about it before, or maybe I've talked about it before, or maybe I just talked about it with Levi. That I'm thinking about cutting all the cage off of the chassis from the pineapple and basically putting it on a VS410, lopping off the back, and then brazing all of that back on. Just because that chassis, at the time, for me, whenever I'd only built 3 tube chassis or something like that, full out, it was a good base, and I knew that I should have started with something else, but I just went ahead and did it. The rear links are really far off. Like, I bet the mounting holes for the rear lowers are 1/8 of an inch off. So if you watch it while it's driving, there's sometimes you can see it kind of move weird, and it's because it's not moving like this. It's like moving kind of at a diagonal. Um, and I just really don't like it. It's to a point where I feel personally that I've come up to a level to where that's not up to my personal expectations. So I want to make the whole thing better. Uh, but I'm going to have a time where I set aside a weekend, because I know myself, and if I cut it apart, I have to immediately put it back together and get everything all situated, or else it'll sit up there in pieces for a year, and nobody wants that. I especially don't, because that's probably my favorite truck. The Stubby Burb is becoming a hopeful quick second. I really like that thing. Let's see. So that would be what I would do. What's the story on the pre-runner? Well, Chris, I bought the I-beams kit. I bought the whatever Andre calls that chassis he made. I don't remember what the hell it was called. Something, whatever. I started brazing because that Bronco body that was in the video up on the shelf, and I said Bronco body I bought, whatever. I modified that. I cut the fender flares off and then moved them up like 3/4 of an inch. And I was going to put that on it. So I started building a cage and kind of ran out of inspiration, steam, desire to build it. Doug bailed on having one. Jordan really hasn't done a whole lot with his. Levi and his buddy built some, but having really nowhere to run them here has kind of, I don't know, taken away some of the inspiration for that, or I guess desire to build it and run it anywhere or whatever. So it's just kind of chilling. I don't know. I could be persuaded to sell it or finish it and then sell it or whatever. I don't know where you're going, or like what you're just asking or whatever, but it really, in all honesty, everything you saw just sits here until I walk out here and go, I want to work on that today, and then I sit down for as long as I have and I just bust out a bunch of shit on something and then I put it back on the shelf. It's very hard for me to do multiple days straight of doing the same thing because I get bored. Your Kia, we are here for the yammering. That's good because you're going to get a lot of it if you just let me talk by myself. RJ said, I got one of the Team Raffy D1 110s in a trade, so I think it would be only fitting to put one on a BRX-01. Definitely. Definitely. I had one of those Team Raffy bodies, but I got it off eBay. I can't remember who that was. Somebody built it. Somebody that was like famous on YouTube in 2012 or something like that built it, I think, because it was like a big deal once I got it and then realized who had it and everything. They did like a scale challenge with it or something, and I ended up selling it because what I had in it, and then getting rid of it, I made money on it, so I just let it go. After seeing them in person, I definitely could get behind a Defender. I know the Jalond 2 was terrible, but I like the actual body. So I stand firmly behind putting that on a BRX-01. Short story long. Anthony Austin, don't want that. No. Like I said, I'll probably have to have everything set up, and then actually, you know what? I'll just get it and show you. How's that? I'll show you the problems. We will go over the most awesome truck I have as far as my personal thoughts go, but it does have its problems. I don't know. You haven't been watching long enough to see the original. It wasn't RC Sparks. There was no Wiener DJing on it. It was somebody else. I can't remember what his name was. I'd have to look it up on eBay again and then let you know. But once I posted it, there were people that were like, "Oh, that's freaking whatever the hell his name is truck." All right, let's see here. I don't think there's any body screws in this. Nope, they're all out. So this is you can't even see it really, but this is the chassis that the Pineapple is on. Now I don't know how well you can see, but it's literally just a piece of like flat steel stock that they cut with a grinder and just chopped out pretty much. It's rough. The shock towers are some sort of like 1/4 inch by, I don't know, something flat stock that are bent, and it's got this grating. So anytime I want to change the shock location, I've got to drill these holes out. I was going to make this for a bearing carrier. There we go. But let's see if you can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there is the difference in the lowers. I can't hold that still because this thing's heavy and my arm's fully extended. So, plus, I know about it, so it also just bothers me because I know that it's wrong. Other than that, I love this thing. Dustin runs with scissors. How's it going? Mike said, RJ, you'll need to put that body on a BRX-02. The BRX-01 is too short. Joshua to YouTube. That's what it was. Camping with Coleman. He was the mixed dude with the dreads, right? And then he just disappeared. I think, because I used to watch his channel, and I didn't put two and two together when I bought it. I was another late night eBay snagged that. It was also broken. But so, yeah. Dustin said, I remember that dude. I used to watch his stuff too. Yeah. I saw him on YouTube, but I don't think he was doing RC stuff anymore. I think he was doing something else. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing. So, yeah, the dreads. Extreme scale performance. That's what it was. Yeah. So, anywho, so that's the pineapple in all of its low, not very well done glory. I just want to redo it. I think, in all honesty, I want to redo it because I like this truck enough that I think it deserves it, for one. So I kind of want to redo. I hate the hood. I was trying to do something with the hood. So basically, some of the trucks you see, the engine was hot, so it baked all the paint off the hood. And it kind of does this, but then the outsides are also patinaed because it hits the fender and the hood and everything. And this is just not what they look like. And now that I've looked at more and more and more and more and more patina, cars and trucks and square bodies and stuff, I just know how wrong this is. And then so now it just kind of it's just like a little poke in the forehead all the time every time I look at it. Plus, I was telling in the members video, the interior is not very well done. It was my first attempt at figuring all this out. The seats are cool and all; they're covered in flannel, but just the whole thing's just kind of eh. Anthony said, "Yeah, you can see it. Going to be my next project. Will be my first time brazing." I tell everybody, I don't know if you've heard me say this, and I think Jordan has agreed. I would start with whatever truck you have, maybe that needs a bumper or some sliders or something. Start there, because if you start with a full-on truck, you're going to, worst case scenario, you're going to get overwhelmed and you'll just start freaking out. Or I guess not freaking out, like you're not going to freak out because of it, but you'll just get overwhelmed because it's a lot. You think this doesn't have, this is only a truggy, so it's only got half of the tube work and everything. And then you start doing it and you start putting in, once you get the main frame of it built, then you start putting in those little mid bars and stuff. And then you get down to the little tiny bars and you put in all the shock mounts. And that's getting it to 90% done is the easy part. All that last 10% of putting in all those little bullshit, yeah, that's what's the killer. Like this one, so you can see I made the fender bars, but then I braced them. So these braces here, and then underneath, I don't know how well, oh, you can see it. So underneath, I brace these at an angle, and then you're trying to get everything level and symmetrical, and then you do all these, and then I had to make body mounts, which is what these are here. So I've got screws through them and everything. It's just building a whole truck is a lot. There's a reason they're so damn expensive. But I think you can do it. I mean, anybody can do it if you have the patience, and I think there's just a process to it. I think you could probably, someone could just start off, build a whole damn buggy if they wanted. However, I think it's beneficial to start with a front bumper or a rear bumper, get the mounts, kind of see how everything works, and then go to the front, and then make some sliders, and then maybe make a, truggy bed, or, whatever. Like I said, I'm not trying to deter you from doing it. So, but if you need help, let me know. Jordan and I are supposedly working on a brazing video, but we haven't gotten anywhere with it. We don't have time. We haven't made time. This is so cool. I love this thing. I need to mess with this. If any of you were debating on getting a Twisted Fab leaf kit for your VS410, this thing is super cool. I haven't driven it yet, but I mean, just in general, I think it's going to be awesome. It is a little lifted as far as what I was expecting, but he said he can kind of tone that back if you wanted. So, where's the other two guys at? Jordan didn't want to do a live, and I didn't say anything to Doug because, like I said, I literally got home, came out here, turned the heater on, and I didn't want to have to time out. I didn't really 100% know that this was going to happen, to tell you the truth. So, Anthony said, I have a project I'm working on now and about to do bumpers on it. It's a Gremlin on a 10.2. My father-in-law is an AC guy and is going to help me. Oh, nice. There you go. Playboy, what's up, everybody? Just got here. Nice to see you. We are going over just random shit, basically. So, this needs... Where? It is. There we go. Waiting for Three Brothers servos to come back in stock before this one will do steering things. There we go. Now that has a home. You can stay there. So what I was doing was I need some spacers. Hang on. All right. So what I was doing is this is a bumper off of a TF2 that I made for this body. And now that it's going on here, I was trying to just adapt the bumper because that would just be a hell of a lot easier. And it's going to work, but I need spacers, and the 9mm spacers were too much. So I'm going to try maybe some 6s. 6, 7s. Let's see here. See if 6s will do. I'll get out 3 because I'm gonna lose one for sure. All right. Oh, well, what am I doing? So nobody really said what you got. Oh shit! What you guys were working on? You got like, big plans for doing things, or what are we doing? 3x5? Uh-oh. These are 2x6s. Here, I believe these are 2x. Ow, that got me. You guys doing any winter building, etc.? Doing that stuff. I know Mike's got that BRX-02. What did you break this time? Nothing. I'm building new trucks. I have not broken anything. I mean, technically. Yet. You also, I mean, it's still early. really wanted to get this thing running because I thought it'd be cool to play with in the snow. And then we got like 19 inches of snow, and I realized that there was no, even my SCX6 was too short for the snow we got. So, Playboy said I'm working on an AliExpress Cage 10-2. Nice, nice. I used to have one of those, a couple of those Wraith cages. I don't think they were AliExpress. They were probably just Amazon. Amazon? That was weird. Amazon, but oh wow. Blind Guy said I decided to H10 swap my TF2. Got the leaf mounts, JEC rear mounts to do some massaging of the axle, and merchant metal fab mounts just past customs. Dang. John said I'm working on my grandson's hobby plus 18 scale right now. Okay. What's your grandson's hobby? Those are always cool. Some guy at work thought I was going to make fun of him because he like trains. And he was like, I just don't want you to think I'm a dumb nerd. And I was like, ha, buddy, let me tell you about some things, sir. Dustin said he's building discharge banks. Your Kia said I drove in the snow for like 10 minutes staring out the living room window. That was enough fun for me. I don't blame you. It was cold here. Like, it was so cold I was surprised it snowed. That's how freaking cold it was here. What the, oh yeah, there it is. It was rather frigid, like my mother's heart. Mike, were you wanting to pick up a roof for your 88? And yes, I'm waiting on warmer weather to finish paint on my 109. I have the cab. The cab was what I wanted. So I don't think I wouldn't. I don't know. If I got any more, they'll probably be the pickup version as well. So I don't think I would need another cab. Top, whatever you want to call that. But I appreciate it. Playboy said I might be getting one of those next. Nice. One of the things I would maybe consider, Playboy, is if you're into like realism and stuff, get away from 10.2s and maybe go to F10s from Vanquish, or like 10.3 offsets. They have 10.2 offsets with their SSDs, like an offset front axle. Just maybe, trying to make it look a little better, whatever. 10.2s are definitely the easiest thing to build with. That shit just falls together, basically. Anthony was -3 here when I was driving to work yesterday. Yikes. Your Kia, lowest I saw was -9 overnight and a high of 6 the following day. Yeah. It was like 3 degrees whenever it was snowing. And the first snow we got wasn't bad. It was like normal snow. The snow that packed on top of that was like that salty stuff. I think if it would have been bigger flakes and more surface area, I guess, I think we would have got a hell of a lot more snow. But that stuff was so small and gritty. I think it being smaller, it took up less area. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that makes sense. Shit, I'm not a weatherman. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Oh, balls. Shit. Let's see here. There we go. Nope. Just joking. There we go. Blind Guy, I told my wife when we get old, I'm going full train man, outfit and all. Like, I don't have I guess, like when you were a kid, you don't want people thinking you were a nerd and shit. But then, like, as we get older, I think more and more people are coming out of their shell of, oh, I don't want to look like a dork, and we're just doing stuff. Because he was very, very reluctant until one of my buddies that knew about everything that I've known for a while was like, Matt's got a YouTube channel and like he's got a bunch of RC stuff. He's not gonna like it's okay. Just tell him what you're doing. And he's like, I'm really into trains. And then he went like 20 minutes. I just sat there listening to him, which was fine. But he definitely went from I don't know if I should tell you to I'm very comfortable to tell you all of these things. And he's actually pretty cool. So, ow, shit, that hurt. Pretty sure I just cut my thumb. God damn it. We had a heat wave today. It was actually 26 degrees out today in Michigan. Yeah, dude, it was like 31 here, and I about just started wearing shorts again. It was crazy. Dustin said I was commissioned to build a charge case for a guy that does BattleBots. That's wild. He charges 4 8S 5500 batteries to run this thing. Goodness. Playboy said my next caged one would be a Wraith with a mullet setup, hopefully. A Wraith cage? I'm assuming. Because I don't know that I've ever seen AR-60s with portals. Maybe Amazon, like maybe the Amazon aftermarket may have done that, but not sure. You mean going with the AR-60s with the Wraith, or just the Wraith cage? Your Kia said I could get deep in the weeds with trains if I didn't have so many hobbies already. So we've been over this a few times, and I've said multiple times, this is why I don't like when people start talking to things. I just kind of ignore how cool that would be. I mean, obviously I'm listening to all you guys and saying, oh, that's, like that's cool and everything. But like there comes a point where I have to stop myself personally and be like, that's really cool, but I can't do the rabbit hole, because I will spend the next 4.5 weeks researching everything about it, and then all of a sudden I'm into growing Venus flytraps or some shit, and I've got a whole freaking horticultural garden out here. So I have to be very careful. Oh man, drop that. Good thing I knew a guy. Just picked up another washer or 5. Yeah, I have to be really careful about that stuff, or I will 100% end up just butthole deep. Let's see. Playboy said yes, a Wraith with the mullet axles from Micro. Oh, okay, there you go. Nice. That'd be cool. That'll be cool. Tubers are just like tubers are a rabbit hole for one, especially once you like if you ever got the itch to start building them your own, you're done. It's over. Just fully commit at that point. Because once you go from I put this Ford Lexan body on this truck, and then this one's the same truck, but it's got a Chevy Lexan body. Once you go from that to like hard bodies and tube chassis, you are in. That's not surface level anymore, and it only gets worse. Doug and Jordan and I have discussed this on the live before. There's a track of I bought my first RC crawler. I wanted to do the craziest things ever. I chop the shit out of it, put the biggest tires I can on it, and then I slam it. And then all of a sudden you get a little bit into more scale, little more scale, and then all of a sudden you're building BRX02s with 3-inch tires. Dustin said, trains are freaking cool. I'd love to have a bunch of them, especially the large outdoor ones. For sure. Those things are expensive. I sold a bunch of trains for my wife's uncle whenever his dad passed away. And I was on eBay like, oh, okay, I'll just sell this real fast. For what those things go for is wild. They are very, very expensive for like I know I'm sitting here working on a semi-expensive truck, but the difference being the locomotive on a train is $600. Son of a bitch. Or $400 at a minimum, whatever. And then like every car after that, if it's a special something or other, is another $100, and it's 12 cars long, and you got like $5,000 in a friggin' train. And then that's one of the 30. Or maybe that's just me. But like I said, but I digress. Can't get into other hobbies like that. Blind guy, I feel like wraiths are coming back. Been seeing them around again. A buddy did a custom VFD skid for mine and had F10 straight, or for one had F10 straights. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I've noticed that more people are building wraiths, which is interesting to watch for sure. Because for so long it was like that was now outdated, but I wonder if now it's so retro, I guess, if you want to call it that. Vintage, which is insanity to think about, but blind guy, I should try and get that truck for a video. You should. That'd be super cool. Let's see. Jacob Carter said something about shit. Hang on, dude. What do you think about the new 30th scale RC Chevy K10? So if full transparency, I have trigger finger and I'm getting carpal tunnel in at least my right hand, and anything small scale, I really don't pay attention to because there's no way in hell, A, with my sausage fingers, and then B, just in general, I can't work on them. And it's not really a segment of the hobby that I mess with a whole lot. I definitely get the appeal of it, for sure. But I don't personally mess with any small scale stuff. Hopefully that answers your question without being too... I'm not trying to be offensive, I literally can't do it. I'm feeling that whole getting old thing, which is, I don't like saying, but it is what it is. It's not like I'm 100 or anything, but still. 1/18 scale is bad enough to work on. Yeah. Yeah. Yup. My hands were killing me today. I had to work in a machine. And basically I was working on this motor that's like vertical, and there was a panel here. The top of the motor was like here. So this is all, the top of the motor was here, and it had 5mm bolts. They went down through it, and I was trying to take them out. Also, some of them were wedged into wires, and I thought my left hand was going to fall off. It was terrible, like Charles Barkley, terrible. So, son of a bitch, this thing just keeps eating washers. So, Jake, sorry I couldn't answer your question, man. Like I said, it's just not something I get into. And if I'm being honest, which I always will for you guys and in general, that is just how I don't know. Nobody owns me. Nobody gives me shit, so I don't have to say anything nice. So there's that. But I'm also just not as invested in that as some other people are. Jake said it's all good. Good. Anthony, Travis is going all out on his SCX30. Looks cool, but I can't stand working on the 24th, so I can't see the 30th being fun. Yeah. Yeah. It's just too small for me. Like, other than, physical stuff or whatever, it's, I don't know. It'd probably get me in trouble, honestly, because I'd end up taking it to work. And then I'd get in trouble for not doing shit at work because I'm over here dicking around with my 30th scale RC truck. So maybe it's better I don't have one or 12. See, the thing with the 24 scale and maybe the 18th a little bit is, and I've said this before, I used to build models, and I know what 10th scale has already done as far as my collecting goes. So when you tell me that instead of spending, I don't even want to say it, like whatever out loud, on something like this, that I can go buy an SCX 24 and spend $100 in hop ups, have like $250 in a truck, and then put a model body on it, and only have $350 in one truck. That would be a rapidly. That's like bunnies. They would end up multiplying very quickly here because I'd have one and I'd be like, oh, well, this one is a 76 and it's this color red, but I really also like this color red. So I would build another one that is also red, but a different color red. And then I would have every color that GM made of 76s. And then I'd find a 77 grill somehow, and I'd probably paint all this. Like, I'm, I'm just going off the hip right now, and I'm telling you how deep this could stupid get. Jake the Taco Guy, what is going on? Playboy said I have two different 24 scale that I won't build because of size and they are for sale. There you go. There you go. You guys can all. Maybe you can talk to him. You can buy a couple. I don't really know. Dude, 30th has just got to be so small. Okay. So like I was saying about my hands not working sometimes. All right. There we go. Got a little spacer action on there. There we go. Put this somewhere so that way I can knock it off and owe Kirby another $400 in screws and washers and shit. There we go. I haven't seen Jordan yet. Or he hasn't said anything at least. There we go. We got. All right, cool. So, got the shock mounts for the rear. Apparently, you're supposed to lay the rear shock mounts at like a freaking 13-degree angle like this, and I don't know. I was talking about it in the video I made, and this was in Travis. God damn it, what is his name? Anyway, the guy that runs Twisted Fab, Casey. Casey. He was running like 170 millimeter UDR shocks on it, and they're like you turn one of the axles damn near 90. I don't think I need that much out of this. Like, it's cool and all, but I don't think I need that much out of this. So, the inconvenient would be I'm a deluxe dealer, and they just decided to stop making the 116s. So now I can't even get a discount on some 116s. So I'll have to find some of those. Or I can't even get them. Honestly, they're already out of stock on the site. So, let's see. John Lau said, all mine are 10th scale. My daughter thought the 18th was a good idea. Playboy said, my 18th scale, I'll build it when it breaks because that's my dog's truck. Oh, okay. There you go. Teleguided, he said he had to finish the 8th. Oh, yeah, that's right. Nilla Bear, I'm here raging about USPS. Hey, me too, dog. Because my Alibaba was supposedly in Greenwood yesterday and out for delivery today. And I don't have an Alibaba package. I have a lot of things coming. I have a spare tire or a spare wheel. Well, I have spare tires too. I have a spare tire coming for the Stubby Burb. I have a spare wheel coming for the Stubby Burb. I have all my Alibaba stuff, that's a whole damn Monday night or a Mailbox Monday by itself. I bought so much scale stuff from Alibaba, and I'm hoping that it turns out all semi the same size and not like this. Why are you raging about USPS? Fine, sir. also haven't seen anything from Douglas. Douglas might be working on something real or something though. There we go. There's one. A one. A two. A three. I gotta make body mounts for this stubby bird. Gosh, this is having a deadline is, and then deciding to build new trucks is stupid. I should never have done that. That was not a good decision on my part. This doesn't fit anywhere. Let's see here. That's probably not long enough. Had a VS410 chassis somewhere around here. Custom 63 Caddy. Good evening. I might have missed an episode or three, but did you say the reason behind not doing lives for a while? It's fucking cold, for one. Jordan is, yeah, I don't really know what you would consider Jordan. Kind of needing a break, getting a little burnout maybe. He's also doing real truck stuff, and then is focusing on a lot of his builds because he's built some stuff for me, built some stuff for other people, and kind of just doing that. And in all honesty, like I know it with me by myself, like I'm surrounded by a bunch of stuff, but every Monday to find something to do for 3 hours, even when we talk to you guys and like we're mounting tires or whatever, you kind of run out of stuff to do. Plus, for me, then it makes it hard for me to make a video because I've done all of this stuff off of video, but on the live, and then I don't have like the fast motion, where I'm doing things or whatever, and I'm just like doing random shit. It just like I don't know. We all kind of needed a break after October more than anything, because the summer where we're going to events, we're also going to comps. I know Jordan and I are doing We Rock. Well, we're doing We Rock last year, and then we're doing comps there. And then Doug's going to actual comps, and he's going over to Ohio to do comps, and doing the Monday Night Live all the time. Like it just becomes a whole lot of. I need just a second before we get into this year, and just start rolling into all that stuff. Plus, I mean, he makes us dinner, and we're all over there an hour beforehand anyway, and it's kind of a lot on him as well. So I respect that. So we just kind of took a little break. It's not gonna be forever, but just hanging out, pulling back a little. Well, nah, that's not really. We're just I don't know, giving it a little bit of a break. Jake Carter working on RC trucks and having a beer. Hell yeah. Yeah, I didn't have any water. We discussed this like right at the very beginning. There's no water in the garage fridge. So I told him we were kicking it cowboy style where beer is the only safe thing to drink. Nil Bear said out for delivery turned into we can't access the delivery location. Was it the fully shoveled driveway or the street cleared in front of the mailbox? That sucks. No mic? Can you guys not hear me? Playboy said, what's your take on the new D1 RC shocks? I believe those are the ones that Jordan and Doug and I were talking about a couple weeks ago. They are like scale accurate, right? But I'm not as into off-road one-to-one as Jordan is. Doug, I believe, has a little bit of experience, but he and I are basically more like streetcar guys as far as one-to-one stuff goes. So I don't have that. Balls. Hang on. Let's see here. There we go. The ORIs. I mean, they look the part. To me, they look like probably predating a lot of you guys way back in the day. like when the Scorpion first came out, somebody, I think it was Hot Racing or something, we discussed this the other day, had bright green anodized shocks that looked so much like this, but they were real big around. And they were just cheap knockoff shocks. So I immediately think of those whenever I see these. But as far as what they're supposed to look like, I think they're awesome. Let's see here. Yeah, they definitely look the part, and they look good. There are much worse options, that's for sure. So I haven't tried them yet. Um, I'm not like, I don't want to put that. I'm not stuck by any means, into only using one shock, but I am a deluxe dealer, so I get dravs. And in all honesty, like I really, really like dravs, and so maybe I'm not branching out, or whatever. I guess you know what I'm saying. Maybe that made sense. Hopefully. Calder Crawl, found you. I was going to send you that spare if you still needed it. Of course. Um, like I was saying, just let me know what I owe you to take it to 46184, and I will let you know. Sambo Suda, no mic. I think everybody can hear. Yeah, everybody can hear. So maybe it's just maybe your TV or something. Maybe try backing out of the live and then coming back. Maybe that'll help. Yeah. Jake Easy said there's water and beer. That is very true. Nilbear said Integi. That's who it was. Them are Integi shocks you're talking about. Yeah, Playboy. Yeah, they're. Tool Time said, Streetcar guys, have you guys made it to the Street Machine Nationals? It's usually a decent time. I can't remember. I'm not 100% sure if I have or haven't, to tell you the honest truth. I know we went to a couple of LS Fests, and I've gone to, I don't even know what it's called anymore. Basically, the drag strip here in Indy. I've been over there for a couple of events. I don't think there was the Street Machine Nationals, but Call to Crawl, thank you very much. Tool Time, I didn't really, I mean, a lot of the stuff I did was just more local. I've never had anything like super insanely fast. The car I'm building now, or having built technically, is not, I mean, my goal is 700 of the wheels, which is still a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, with guys out here running 2,500 horse street cars, I mean, I'll probably get my ass waxed by an old lady in an Audi or something. So, but yeah. What I really want, in all honesty, Tool Time, I've got to get through my apprenticeship at work, and then, like, I've tried to make this like 5-year plan. I want an old, like, nasty looking, and Jordan's gonna hate every bit of this. I want a pro street car, and I want an actual like Survivor Pro Street that's like turquoise with monochrome bumpers and like a pink roll cage and like green little down the side and shit, tubbed. I want one so bad, but I don't have anywhere to put it right now. I need a bigger garage and I need a bigger house. Um, but that is my current, like, really would like to have. And especially one of the things that really, for I don't even know why, really I have a soft spot for is the front wheel drive cars that were basically tube chassis to be rear wheel drive, like Monte Carlos, Corsicas, the square body, or not square body, the 80s Cavaliers and all that stuff. I love that shit. I don't know why. They're ugly as hell, but a tubbed tube chassis Beretta would be sick as shit to me. Just two seats, a big. I'd probably honestly, if it didn't have an engine in it, I'd probably honestly do an LS swap just because it's cheap, but still kind of keep that whole. It'd be awesome. Playboy said, "I want to rebuild my '99 Tahoe." I get that too. I got an '05 Suburban, and it needs a lot of things, but it also doesn't have rockers or half the quarter panel, so rebuilding it doesn't really make much sense. But depending on how clean your Tahoe is, maybe that makes sense for you. Especially if it's super clean. The NBS trucks now, I've kind of noticed are kind of on an uptick, especially the super super nice ones. So because square bodies went basically astronomical, the action line 72 to or 67 to 72, those went pretty high. So like you can't really touch a square body in general unless it is a complete turd or you get super lucky. So then I've watched kind of OBS stuff become affordable, and then now it's getting less affordable. So now as the 99 to like 04s become 20 years old, 25, whatever, they're becoming more affordable. I'm seeing more people mess with them, which is super, super cool. Works great. Just want to do a good LS swap and 2-inch lift, almost overland setup. A 99? Oh, you must have a. Do you have the classic? Is that a classic Tahoe? Did they do that? Because it should have swapped, right? It should be the new style, new body style. Mike Abner, Matt, I saw on the Bookface group that you're planning on doing more events this year. Are you planning on going down to Halloween Hall and crawl down in Alabama? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to do more of that stuff. It's just gonna depend on my work and my school. Um, we go. So I go. I go to school 3 days a week, every other month because there's two classes. So like, but he's my instructor's wanting to like he's talking about going 5 days a week until we're done. So I don't even like go to work for 6 months. And if he does that, it's a huge deal for me to miss class. Um, so that would really, really, really determine whether I did. I want to. I want to go down to what's the one in Georgia? The like rock zombies. Can't remember what it was called. Anyway, obviously I'm going to Beat the Creek. I'm not sure in what capacity right now because they won't release information for vendors, and the price went up last year. And in all honesty, it can't go up too much higher before I don't really see too much of a profit being there with my big ass setup. So that's a two. I'll probably hit a couple, round next 6 weeks to a month, 2 months. I'll hit a couple places. I'm not real sure. I just know that I'm going to more events. I have some planned of if I can make it, I'll go here. So it all depends on what my boy Nilla Bear and Douglas want to do too. Let's see. Playboy said I'm the second owner of it. Nice. Autumn's Adventure 15. I imagine I'll probably get my ass waxed by an old little lady. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, the new cars now have so much power. It's silly. Like your soccer moms are driving around in 450 horse Tahoes. Like that's insanity. The new Audis, I think, are four-door like sedan has like 421 horsepower or something like that. That's crazy. Let's see. Holy cow. Let's see. Jacob says I found a 79 K30 square body dually that I'm in love with. Nice. Playboy said last of the box style before they switched the bubble. Okay, so yeah, it's a classic. So they must have done the same thing they did with square bodies. I didn't know the Tahoes and the Suburbans went in '99. My grandpa has a 1-ton 2000 classic that's OBS style, whereas a 2000, should be the new body style round nose stuff. So I know that, especially now being in that industry of knowing people and stuff, it's like, well, we got a shitload of parts still, so like we're gonna keep doing this. We'll call it a classic or like the vintage version or whatever, and just get all this shit out of here. Let's see. Teleguided said I'll pitch some money for the vendor spot. I mean, yeah, that's definitely appreciated and stuff. It's just yeah, we'll just have to talk about it, just me and you. There's a lot of thoughts, and I hear a lot of stirring, I guess, from some other people as well. Let's see. Jay Geezy, what are you apprenticing in? I do machine repair, so I fix CNC machines. and basically they're all CNCs. So like mills, lathes, 3, 4, 5 axis stuff. Do just a lot of that stuff. So I gotta learn some things to be completely certified. I have to have so many school hours and so many work, like on the job training hours as well. Mike Abner said, "I honestly think a lot of people are getting priced out of BTC." Yeah, that's that's uh, that's the thing. You know, unless you're going over there. I mean, there's a few people that I could name, but I won't, that make enough money that it wouldn't matter. If you charged them $2,000 for the weekend, they still wouldn't care. However, I'm getting to a point where I have to sell a shitload of shirts and stickers to even remotely start to make my money back. Um, and then any money that I make on the parts that I sell that I'm a dealer for, I've got to sell a bunch of that stuff too. And 99% of the time, they're there. So people are just buying them for me just because I'm there. And maybe I have like a color of shock that Deluxe didn't bring or something. Um, or I'm selling my own personal stuff to try and, I mean, it's not like the money is breaking me financially or whatever, but when you put up as much money for the trip down there, I'm taking 2 days off work. You know, I'm driving the Suburban fully loaded all the way down through the hills of Kentucky. I'm putting up, you know, we get there. The event for us is 4 days. So, you know, we've got 3 nights of the Airbnb, which we all split, but you know, now I'm eating for 4 days as well. And it's just a lot of money, man. The whole thing is just becoming a lot of money. And there's other things that bother me, but I'm not going to get into them, especially on here. I'm trying to tread semi lightly with also still stating my point. Shut the fuck up, Chris. Um, all right. Let's see. Playboy said mine is a 5.7 350 with the 4L60. Was a police detective. Oh, that's super cool. Dustin said same here, buddy. Approaching the not worth it area. Yeah, the thought of just parking in the field has crossed my mind. Very nice find. Chris gave me a whole bunch of money, and that is unnecessary, but I freaking love you because you are one of the best. So there are a few people, and this is not me just because he just, you know, whatever. There are a few people that I've met doing this that I wish A lived closer, um, because I really get along with them personally, but just kind of changed how a lot of this is looked, I guess. Chris is an awesome dude, and I thoroughly appreciate him, and I like his company to begin with, like his physical company, not like he owns it. Well, he does own Mittens Kittens, but Teleguided is another one. If he didn't live in Canada and I just was all of a sudden a bajillionaire tomorrow, um, these are some of the guys that like I would just buy them a house next to me and be like, we're just RC trucking and one-to-one things all day. You don't need a job anymore. Like we'll just do shit. Let's see. Playboy said, very nice find. Jay Geezy, electric cars are crazy. A Lucid Air has, holy shit, 1,023 horsepower. That is insanity. Insane. I know the new, because I thought um, Cletus did that thing with the Hummer, right? I think, and that thing has like 1,100 to the wheels because it's got a motor on each wheel. That's crazy. I know my new car, the hybrid engine or the hybrid motor, however you want to call that, whenever it kicks in, it's like 40 horsepower or something like that on top of what the engine makes, which isn't a whole lot. But just thinking that we're motivating the car enough and it's enough of a motor to put 40 horsepower down into a car is kind of crazy as a hybrid, not as full electric. Oof. Playboy said, but I have to buy all heavy duty parts for it because of being in the police setup. Yeah, it's got police shocks and police brakes and police motor or whatever the um, Blues Brothers said. Dustin said, you can be a vendor for me if you want. I want zero of your business. If you don't know, Dustin does like soldering and he puts on, he sells charge banks and does all sorts of stuff electrically. I think we've literally watched this dude sit down in 9 o'clock in the morning and he doesn't look up and all of a sudden it's 2 o'clock and he's like, I'm really hungry and I kind of have to pee. Gets up for 10 minutes, like stuffs a cheeseburger down his face while he's walking back and then solders from like 2:30 until it's time to leave at 7 or whatever. Like people start going away. Dude is swamped just putting connectors on and things like that. I want zero to do with that. You can just hang out with us. We can maybe make that a thing or whatever, but I don't want any part of that. Calder Crawl said it's a $2,500 bill. Jesus. $2,500 bill for me to make to BTC, and that's if I don't buy stuff there. That's crazy. Dustin said it's just far enough to not be close enough. Yeah, once we get on whatever that is, AA highway or whatever, I get really tired of driving that like 2-lane wide, 4-lane highway with all the damn stoplights in it and stuff. I get real tired of that real fast. I don't like that part. Custom Caddy, what would happen if you get a camping spot, set up tables and awnings at the campsite, and post it in the group where you're located versus getting a vendor spot? I don't know, to tell you the truth. I think backing down, like, so you can go there, you can throw your table up and you can have all your things for sale, et cetera, which is what I did the second year that I went. We got a camping spot, and then Misty asked us where we were camping, and we just kind of looked at the van, we're like, we're all sleeping here. It was just bullshit, whatever. But I think coming from a vendor spot, going back and then trying to do the same thing, I'm not sure Joe would be real enthused about that. I don't know. So I can't really say, but it's crossed my mind for sure, because it's an expensive trip. Let's see. Teleguided said, can't wait to be balling out next to you and Nillabear for sure. I wish Nillabear could go everywhere with us and ball out with us, but he's a little bitch and he won't go places with us. Dustin said 100% true, except last year it was slow last year. Yeah, the rain and the monsoon and the mud probably put a big damper on your business and all, but it's been crazy. I've seen that before. Playboy said it has an extra brace on the transmission and driver's side dog bone brace. That's weird. I didn't know that. That's cool though. So let's see here. What the hell? There we go. I feel like a friggin' boomer. There we go. That was rude as fuck. Yeah, I know. I don't care. You know I love you. Dustin said, I meant we were close enough to each other to be oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant like you physically, since you live an hour and some change north of me. So, but yeah, we can see. I've already made pretty clear about who I don't want to be next to a few times. So I know that I'm usually next to Mark from Crawler Cult. But if we get another 40 feet, I mean, I guess you'd maybe have to figure it out with your camper. But I don't care. If we can make it work, we can make it work. So, Jordan, I just want you to go with us places, like places that I know that you could go because you have the ability to do things to go there, you know what I mean? But you won't go. And then you could be stressing out building 5 new trucks in 2 months. Because that's fun. Holy crap, it's 8:35. So, in a hooey. Well, now comes the time. Is there anything you guys want to see? Anything you've had questions on, you've seen in a video, you've seen in the background, anything you want to know? I'll tell you pretty much everything about anything. There's not too much I can't tell you, so if you want to know something. Playboy said, first time I've seen that setup, but think it's because of being a northern truck and being a police setup. I've taken the dog brace off. Yeah, anytime you get into that military and like police stuff, things get all super rare, and I've never seen that before. But my papa's brother's uncle had one back in 1986, and kind of thing. But I like that stuff. Show. Mike said, I'd like to know if you still have that Isuzu body laying around. I honestly have no idea. I know where it would be. But possibly. I would have to go look. I can go look if you want. Does everybody want to know if I have the Isuzu body laying around? I'll be right back. Pick up my heated blanket here real fast. Hang on. There we go. I do. I had to move all my stupid Jeep bodies to get it because it was buried under them, but I do have it. Playboy said, I want to build a 10 scale truck of my Tahoe. Yeah. I don't know why. I'm really not an OBS fan, but recently, because I have the square body on the Red Cat chassis, the square body crew cab dually, I really want to build an OBS. And like, I'm almost to a point where I want one to one of a crew cab slammed OBS dually. But I really don't like the early ones. I know that much. But I don't know. They're kind of growing on me, I guess. It took 40 years, but Playboy, just an offshoot here. I think one of the coolest things that I've seen over the last 3 or 4, maybe 5 years, probably 3 or 4. I think one of the coolest things talking about your Tahoe is watching 3D printing, get better, and then watching people get better at designing everything. To where you can get on the internet anywhere and you can have like something that was designed in 24 scale for a model, and you can blow it up. You do magic, as far as I'm concerned. People do the clicky clickies on their mouse, and then all of a sudden it's cool. I don't know how that works. But then people are printing, 9th scale is basically what we're playing with. Larger stuff like this. And they're printing those bodies, and then I know the difference between what Jordan printed for me a year ago versus his new bamboo is astronomical. So much better. So just watching everything get better as well is super, super cool to me. And now, like, you can do almost anything. Like, you could have you could almost want almost anything, just some random ass truck you saw, and I would about guarantee you could figure something out with maybe a little scratch building and a 3D printed body, because they have so much stuff. Mike said, if that's available and the price isn't astronomical, I'd love to have another. Playboy said there's a few here in Columbus for sale. I'm sure. There, I see them for sale, and I'm lucky that my garage isn't long enough because I probably would have bought one instead of buying a new car for my daily. Custom Caddy said I've always wanted to get an '80s one-ton Suburban dually and lay it out. That's my one of my friends that I've known forever. He has a well, he had a laid out dually, and then now he has bought a Suburban, and it is I think the new chassis is for air ride. Now it's slammed static. It's a dually Suburban on 22s, I think, on 22-inch duals. Maybe they're 24s. I can't remember. Anyway, I just saw that he posted a couple days ago that he got his new chassis back. So I can try to post that in the group if he posts more stuff of it. It's super cool, and Zach's a good dude. He's freaking hilarious. He dressed up as Radio one time, like the guy from the movie, for Halloween in like 2006, and he's still in my phone as Radio, and I still call him Radio because it just stuck, and that's how everybody knows him. So he's a good dude. Even though his kids tried to hit one of my slashes with a limb, but it's whatever. He may have beat him later or something. I don't know. Mike, I'll get with you. I don't know. I don't know if I want to sell it. I want to build it. What I really wanted, what would be easier, or would have been easier, and I would have sold this in a heartbeat, is if Josh would have let me know or let anybody know that the Amigo that he built was for sale. That now I believe Austin had or has, and then maybe just traded it off. I would love to have that green one. But I can't make. I literally, there are just some people I can't make sell things. I'll never sell it, and then they legitimately, I throw out money and they don't take it. But then randomly they get rid of things, which is whatever. But I wanted that green one that RC Everyday Josh built, which is I think why I'm keeping this around, because I could 100% strip this and build something with it. So I don't know. I'll leave it over here just for you though. Leave it. I'll put it right. Oh, right there. It'll be there for the next month and a half, I'm sure. So, just let me know. No pressure. Oh, you're good. I will. Just let me see. It's got a lot of paint on it. Let me see what they're going for and all that stuff, and then if nothing else, if we can figure something out and you don't need it right away, I can just bring it to BTC. That way, I'm not shipping a $20 or $25 box to your house when I'll see you, and well, I don't care. Whatever. Playboy said it needs the back half on it. I know. I had it and I don't know where it is. It came with the body when I got it, and it's like it vanished into thin air. Because I remember I dropped it because it wasn't screwed on, and then it's just gone. So anyway, let's see. That's about it. I told everybody that I'm waiting on Scott Limpert to be in a little better situation. Then I'm going to send him my Suburban in the van. So the van will be back to getting body work after UPS tried to destroy it. I haven't really made progress on anything else. I don't think. I'll think about selling my We Rock truck. I need to finish the interior of my F-Toy. And I really enjoy my IJ. So, more than I thought I would, that's for sure. So. Will be awesome to run burbs you know where. 100%. I can't wait. I can't wait. And it was really wild to have the dude that owns the Stubby message me and stuff. That was, and share my stuff. Like, that was crazy. That was crazy. I'm really excited to get the skinny truck done. Well, to get the skinny truck out on social media, um, because I told that guy that I was building it. So now I think it'd be super cool. Um, yeah, I think it'd be super cool for him to see it. Because I asked him for a lot of dimensions, and he was like, "I can't believe you need all these things." I was like, I need all of it, and I need to know why you did this and all that other stuff. I got plenty of pictures and everything, so it's gonna be super cool. Calder Crawl said, I just got a box of RC East dually fenders and beds. Ordering cow hoods next. Finally going to build a square. Sick. Fried RC just got off work. How's your evening going? It is going just peachy. I'm getting hungry. I haven't eaten yet since like 11, and I had a salad at work, and it sucked. So I'm getting a little hungry. My wife cooked sketty and meatballs, um, so I have that waiting on me. So that's how I'm doing. How are you doing? More importantly. Chris said, "Where are the cookies?" Uh, I was. I thought you were in here. I just got home, like right before we got this, or I got on here, so I didn't have time to do cookies or anything like that. Maybe next time, whenever I'm at Jordan's house. Dustin said we had taco mac and cheese. Hell yeah. Nilla Bear, I'm out. Take it easy, guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Yes, please do that as you either sit here or on your way out here in a little bit. So, but I'm about to wrap this up. Like I said, and if anybody, I'll get my lips to work here in a second. If anybody wants to see anything, let me know because I'm about A, frozen, but B, ready to go in and eat some food and then go to bed. So, because I have to be up early and I didn't sleep very well last night and stuff. So, Fried said, I'm right there with you. About to make some salmon. Damn, salmon with pops and doing good. Just patiently waiting on my hard body glue job to fully cured. Bro, believe me. Believe me, I understand. The hardest part for me has been it's so damn cold I can't be out here. So I'm working on that Suburban and like I come out here and I prime it and I've got to let it sit out here and kind of gas out for a half an hour to an hour. Then I have to take it inside and let it sit inside the house and like actually fully cure. And I'm just sitting there looking at it every time I go in the kitchen. You know, it's up on top of the fridge or whatever. So then they're looking at it, knowing I can't touch it yet, and then I get it all primed, and then I got to come out here and I've got to put, you know, make body filler and then put body filler on it and everything, and then I've got to once again let it gas out for like 2 hours or so, and then take it inside and let it fully harden before I can start sanding on it. So like, I completely understand. Plus, I am impatient as shit. So, I had some salmon the other day. Me and my kids smashed some salmon with some rice, and I made homemade teriyaki sauce. It was delicious. So, John Lau, good night, sir. Take easy. Night. See you next time. Mike, thank you for digging the Isuzu out for me. Oh, no big deal. It's literally just over here on a shelf. It just had about 15 different YJs and TJs bodies all over it. Did you complete your custom Suburban, not Stubbs, the lowered one? Yeah. It's done. I messed with the front suspension, so the steering needs hooked back up. But other than that, it is pretty much done. It's right here. So it just needs the tie rod put back on, and it needs the servo. Yeah, it needs the servo hooked to the little arm that controls the tie rod, and then both arms. But other than that, I'm waiting on a bunch of interior detail stuff, or not interior, sorry, under hood detail stuff because this does have. Damn it, come on. This does have the SSD scale motor, but past that, there's like nothing in there, so I kind of kept the hood closed. And I would like to be able to open the hood and have like the brake booster and heater box and make the engine look a little better and some headers and things like that. So I'm working on, well, I'm not necessarily working on it. I'm waiting on those parts to arrive. So, but yeah, I love this thing. I know Teleguy likes it. He's tried to buy it a few times, and I've had to say no. So, Fried said, I want to start sanding and filling, but I know I gotta wait, but I can't stop saying it. Exactly. Wanting to continue on it. Fried said, also thought you'd be the right guy to ask. I love your bourbons, but I've been wanting to do a 1/10 OBS Suburban hard body. I'm not sure where to start. I would honestly just start with a 3D printed body. The one that you can get, not necessarily in more pieces, but like if you can find one that doesn't have all the trim on it and stuff, that you don't have to sand around and sand down and like get in crevices and shit, that would be easier. We were just talking about that actually. So um, that would be the easiest thing that I would suggest doing, is just getting someone. I know Chad Harvey. If you look him up, it's Michael maybe be able to help me. 10th scale. I can't remember exactly what. I have now so many friends with so many different. I can't remember all this stuff. Anyway, Chad Harvey, he prints bodies. His prints are very, very nice, and they're only getting better and better every time I see them. He would probably be able to hook you up. I think I paid $260 for the Ram Charger body I got, and that includes the body, bumpers, mounts, interior tubs, seats, glass templates, dashboard, steering column, steering wheel, like literally anything that goes on that body, it was all included. I think, don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's roughly right about what it would cost me. I think that's what he sells his bodies for. Teleguided said, me one. Sure. Playboy, how much would you charge to build one body only if I got all the parts? So full transparency, I actually had this built by a guy because he's a hell of a lot better than I would be, and he gets it done 10 times faster than I ever would. So I had this built. I don't know what his situation is right now, or I would tell you where to go. I know that he wasn't ready for me to send some stuff. He's the one that also built my van. I don't know if you've seen the van and the other Suburban as well. But I don't know where he's at. So if you wanted to 3D print one, I'm so deep in projects right now. I don't have time to build anybody anything, honestly. I've had a couple people in the last, I don't know, month or two ask me about a tube chassis, and it's too damn cold out here to be building tube chassis to begin with. I discovered that MAP gas won't even turn into gas whenever it's this cold. It stays a solid or a liquid or whatever the hell it is in there. So that's kind of where I'm at. I really don't know how to help you right now. There's some guys, if you join any of the Square Body RC groups on Facebook, there's a couple guys that I would recommend. There's a couple, like, building a Suburban is all in the detail and the dimensions. So you've got to get all that right. And if someone gets that right, I would 100% say, like, this is who I would maybe go to, or like this is one of the options to go to and stuff. So, but yeah, like I said, right now, I'm sorry, but I am ass deep. Like, I made that members video yesterday, and it basically was a whole rundown of 90% of my vehicles. I have like 15 trucks I'm building right now, so and with school and 3 small kids and work and everything, I just don't have. I barely have time to do my own shit. Let's see. Tool Time said, did you ever figure out a color combo for the show truck? I'm getting closer. I found a truck I really liked the look of. The problem being is it was black. Doing all the body work to make a gloss black from the guy that I'm having paint it, who paints exceptionally well, to do the body work to have a black truck. I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I want to take that leap, because I'm not necessarily a perfectionist, but I want to get as close as possible, and then eventually I'm kind of like, okay, this is good enough. But like for a gloss black truck, I don't really feel like I want to do that. So I'm getting closer. I kind of liked purple, and then I saw Mike Lohman's, Mike's RC World. Me and him have known each other internet-wise for 20 years probably. I saw his, and it's purple, so I'm kind of straying away from that. I have decided I want the K5 that I'm building, the show truck, the K5. I am going to paint that like a apple green color. That's a factory color, and white probably. But I'm open to suggestions, especially like if you go hunting and see something you think is cool and you want to like post it in the group, like maybe we can start a thing for it or whatever. But there's a period, and I talked to a couple people about this. There's a period of 80s style where it's like silver with a mural on the door, and I hate mural on the door, like that whole style, like mid 80s to real early 90s. I don't like it. But somewhere in between early 90s and mid 90s, when everything turned into like mini truck, there's an area there, and I don't know what to call it, and I don't know exactly where it starts and ends, but I'm trying to find something there, because I don't want to do tribal flames over, like barbed wire with some zebra print in the back and cheetah print, like heartbeat going over that and eyeballs in the background. Like I don't want a mini truck, like 90s mini truck it. So I'm trying to find something that's cool to look at, not super simple, but isn't mini truck, but then also like isn't so crazy. So I don't know. I'm hoping I'll see it and know it when I see it, but I don't have any idea, man. Dustin, good night. Fried said, really appreciate the insight. I have to check out Chad. Do it to it. And you are welcome. So worth it. Teleguided. I need the bird buggy. No. Nope. I don't want to build another one of those. And I don't want to build another Beluga either, which is why I wouldn't sell you either one of them, because I don't want to build them. Same reason you won't sell me this Suburban. Mike, 10th Addict RC. That's what it is. 10th Addict RC Design. I knew it had 10th somewhere. He's a super good dude. So, Playboy said it would take me a few months to get everything together before I can send it out. I'm telling you, I'm booked until like literally, if I just didn't start any more projects, I'm probably buried, even if I worked on things all the time, until like 2028. I have so much crap to do. Plus, I can build it for myself. I don't know about doing hard body work for somebody else. I don't think I'm good enough for that. And there's people out there that I would recommend over me doing it, just being honest. Because I'm just not at that level, and they can do it better and faster and probably cheaper. So, 3D Man, how's everyone doing? We are actually getting ready to head out of here, man. I'm hungry and I'm fat. Basically, that's the real short gist of it. Or I'm fat and hungry, however you want to word that. So, all right, fellas, well, and ma'ams, I thoroughly appreciate you hanging out with me and everything. And hopefully this was, there was a lot of people. I saw like 42 or something like that. So that was super, super cool. All right. Well, everybody hit your thumbs up on the way out. And I will see you sometime. I'm going to try to have a video out next Monday. And I have no idea when the next live would be. Maybe I can do it next week if it's not freezing, or if Jordan is available. Cool. Calder Crawl, I will see you later, man. Playboy said, try and bring back a memory from childhood of my grandfather's suburban. I understand. The pineapple is loosely based on my great grandparents' Suburban that was around until I was in like 8th grade. Um, and then I also painted a body, a K10 body that was pretty much a replica of the truck I learned to drive in, but a short bed. So I understand all of those things. So, all right, I'm gonna go eat. I will see you all later, and I thoroughly actually do appreciate you. Like I say every time, I actually do eat. So, see you later.